Keller will scream. Ah!
Awesome. So we drop it all in and cover your head for safety. 3, 2, 1. Okay, everybody. My name is Mr. Richie. I am the super scientist from Super Science, Tennessee, and today I am going to walk you through some fantastic experiments that you can do at home with your family. I've brought my family with us today to help us, so over to my right we have
Aurora.
Miss Aurora, who goes by the name Aurora Atom. And over here we have Keller Chemical, who is the chemical master of our family. So today we're going to do some really fun experiments for you. Feel free to watch this later and pause it so you can do the experiments along at home. Now, our first experiment, we are going to be using some water. Now, who feels okay getting wet? Aurora, are you okay getting wet for this one? Okay, could you come and stand over here for me, right in this spot? And Mr. Keller, could you go and stand in front of the cauldron for me? Fantastic. Now, in this cup, we have some water. Miss Aurora, could you put your hand in there just to prove to everyone at home that this is really water? Now, how do your fingers feel?
Wet.
They are wet. Now, just to prove it. There we go. How do you feel, Keller? Are you wet or dry?
Wet.
You're wet. Perfect. Now, at home, we have 3 cups that are all the same. So I've got 3 Disney cups, okay? Keller, make sure you're watching. Aurora, everybody at home, make sure you're watching. We're going to pour the water into one of these cups. So let's choose this one here. So again, watch carefully at home, everybody. Now, did the water go in this cup, Keller?
No.
Did it go in this one, Aurora?
No.
Did it go in this one?
Yes.
So watch the cup with the water, and at home, follow the cup with the water. We're going to start to move them around, and I'm going to go quicker and quicker. Tell me when to stop, Mr. Keller. Oh, that was a good one. Now, what was the water in this cup?
No.
Is it in this one?
No.
Is it in this one?
No.
Yes, so now we're going to have to go even faster. So remember, I put it in the middle cup, right? Watch along at home. As we move it again, tell me when to stop, Aurora.
Stop.
Okay, so let's see. Is the water in this cup? Let's have a look. Keller, give me a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Not in this one. Is the water in this cup? Let's have a look. Give me a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Not in this cup. That means the water has to be in this one.
Yes.
Okay, Aurora, here we go. 3, 2, 1. There's no water there. So let's have a look. What happens, Aurora, if you make water really cold?
It turns to ice.
It turns into ice. Now, Mr. Keller, this one's a little harder for you, I know, but if you make water really hot, it turns into something called
Gas.
Whoa! You knew that? That's a great answer. It turns into gas and it goes up to make the clouds. So I didn't do either one of those things. I cheated. I actually used some special science powder that you can actually find at home. And when the water hit the powder, there was a chemical reaction. So Rory, could you hold your hands like this? The water's in here, but it won't come out. We tap the cup, and now, can you feel that?
It's not water, I know that.
Oh, so it has changed. Look, poke it with your thumb. Is it hard or soft?
Soft.
It's all soft. Drop it in my hands
Yep.
and rub your hands together. Do they feel wet or dry?
Dry.
They are dry, Mr. Keller. Give it a poke. How do you feel?
Dry.
You're dry too. Now, if you want to do this experiment at home, guys, you can. All you need to do is find this special powder. This, boys and girls, was baby diaper powder. Ah! So you can find this in a baby's diaper. If you rip it open, you can get this and do the experiment, no problem. This is also used by astronauts when they go to the toilet in space. Ooh. Now, for the next thing I'm going to show you, this is my favorite thing in science. Now, this next thing is something, again, is my favorite thing in science. It's something we have to be very, very careful with. So I have a very thick glove. Now, what we are going to do, I have got some special ice. This is called dry ice. Right here, dry ice is one of the coldest things in the whole world. It's 109 below zero. It's so cold that if you touch it with your finger for just 1 second, it will burn you, okay? So you can never ever touch this. It's also very special when you move it. What can you see?
Yes.
You can see the gas and the smoke, okay? Now, when I move it, it is melting because it is made of gas. So we have to be very, very careful with it. It's 109 below zero and made of gas. Now, because of that, we can, again, do very cool things. You can buy this at Publix or Kroger. So if you do want to do this at home, you have to be 18. And again, you buy this at Publix or Kroger. Now, the first experiment, I'm going to give you guys dragon breath, okay? So Mr. Keller was doing a bit of sneezing just a second ago. So I'm sure you've got a lot of puff in your body. You're going to blow as hard as you can on the ice. Wow! Miss Aurora. So, when your warm breath hits the ice, you can create dragon breath. So, that's just a little first experiment to show you that this ice is really, really cold. And again, if you blow on it, you can make it melt or sublimate very quickly. Now, what we're going to do next, guys, Mr. Richie has got your allowance in here. So, here's a quarter for you, and a quarter for you, and I'll keep one as well. What we're going to do, so at home, guys, you're going to need the dry ice and a quarter. We are going to make these quarters come to life. The first thing you do is put it in your hands like this. Put it in your hands, Mr. Keller, and we are going to rub. So, rub it as fast as you can. So at home, if you rub it in your hands, you are going to create friction, which is going to make it hot. So rub, rub, rub. Okay, hold on to it for me. Now, what we are going to do very carefully, we are going to hold the quarter at the top. We are going to push it into the ice, and this quarter will scream, "Ah!" Then it will start dancing. Here we go. So let's just watch first, Cal. So we hold it at the top. Listen up at home. So it screams, and then it will dance all on its own. Mr. Keller, let me help you. Put your hand on my hat on the top of mine. We push it in again. Oh, yours was hot, buddy. The hotter the coin, the more it will scream. And let's see it dance. That's it. Stand back here so we can see. So we've got a little disco going. Miss Aurora, Adam, hold my hand. We'll push it down. 1, 2, 3. Good one. And we've got another dancer. Now, what has happened to the coins that have been on here? What color are they turning?
White.
They're turning white. Now, what has happened is when you heat up the coin, you push it into the ice, it screams because it melts a hole. It dances because the smoke hits it, the gas. They get cold and they turn white. Now, am I allowed to let you touch the ice? No, it could burn you. But you're going to touch the quarters. Hold your hand like this. You're going to let them just feel this for 1 second and then pass it, okay? It's going to feel like an ice cube. You ready? Oh, it's cold. Oh, 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 oh. Quick, pass it, pass it. Pass it, pass it. Ah, quick. Pass it back to Mr. Richie. Oh, back to Keller. Back to Miss Aurora. Ah. That's it. So back to Mr. Rich. So these quarters get very cold very quickly. Awesome. Now, we've just had little Kella's birthday party. He turned 6 years old. And at the party, we had lots of balloons, didn't we? So, I'm going to show you a fun experiment with a balloon, okay? Now, if I want to make this get big, Aurora, what do I need to put in here? Air, okay? I need to blow it up, okay? Now, before we do that, you should always stretch out a balloon. Help me stretch it out, Miss Aurora. Hold it tight. That's it. Ow! Let's try it over here. Now, don't you do that, Mr. Keller. All right. So, just a bit of fun there. Now, we're going to stretch out our balloon, and then we are going to blow. So, at home, help me out by giving it a big puff. Everybody. So, you can see we now have got a lot of gas in our balloon. Miss Aurora, hold that for me. Now, if you let the gas out slowly, what's it gonna sound like, Kella? Oh no! Let's try it! Ah! Now, everybody at home, I'm gonna show you the easy way to blow up balloons, okay? Let's say you've got a big party coming up. You can use the dry ice. So, you need to get your dry ice and you put it into a bag so you don't have it splash around. You use a hammer and you break the ice into small pieces. So again, at home, be careful with this. Make sure, again, you've got your glove on. You're gonna put the small pieces into our container. Like so. Miss Aurora, could you blow into that so we can see the smoke come out? And you can see the gas come out. Now, we're going to use that gas to blow up our balloon. So, if you've ever seen a hot air balloon on TV, this might look like a hot air balloon in a second. You stretch the balloon over your container with the dry ice inside. The ice is so cold, it is always melting. So it is going to fill up the balloon with gas. Now, Rory, have you ever seen a helium balloon? Some balloons, or this balloon, is going to be heavier than the air we breathe. It's going to want to go down because it's full of carbon dioxide. And there we go. So, once it fills up like this, you're going to turn the container carefully upside down. Try to get the ice down inside the balloon. And now, if I come to the front, you will see the gas come out. And what we're going to do, we're just going to tie a knot in this and check back on it in a little bit. So we're going to leave that there and check on it in a little bit. Now, Keller, would you like to try and shoot a rocket? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. To do this at home, you will probably need to go on Amazon, to be honest. These containers are called film canisters. They used to be easy to find at Walgreens, but now you have to hunt them down, okay? So, if you get a film canister with a nice tight lid on it, you want to make sure it's got a nice tight lid, you're going to be able to do this experiment. You also need an Alka-Seltzer. This is something you take if your tummy doesn't feel good. So, Mr. Keller, you're going to break this Alka-Seltzer up for me. Break it up. Perfect. Mr. Richie's going to put just a little bit of water in the bottom of my container. Just a little bit. Now, for this experiment, we have to be very safe. In a second, you're going to put all of those pieces in here. I'm going to snap the lid on till it clicks. I'm going to put it upside down on our launch pad. Mr. Keller, you will need to back away carefully and quickly. Miss Aurora, you will need to stand over there a couple more steps back and cover your head for safety. This is going to blast off. If you do this at home, I would suggest doing it outside, okay? All right, Keller, are you ready? Do you have all the pieces? Drop them in quickly. Upside down, we back away. Oh! Let's wait, and you can see that it blasts off just like a rocket. So if you look at the Alka-Seltzer, you can see that. Can you see it's bubbling?
Yeah.
Those bubbles are what cause the explosion. They fill up with gas and the air pressure blows off the top. Okay, now we're fixing to make a potion. So if you want to do this at home, this is lots of fun. Again, you might want to try this at home. It can get a little messy. Miss Aurora, you're going to hold this with me for 2 hands. Turn around. Mr. Keller, you're going to use our super science liquid. Just dishwashing. Okay, now we are going to break our ice. So we've got our dry ice again. We put it back into our bag and we break it into small pieces. We are going to put our small pieces into our container. Hold on nice and tight, Miss Aurora. Don't let go whatever happens. Hold on tight. We add the water, and you see you get a great smoking effect. Now, Mr. Keller, could you undo the top? And you're going to pour in some super science liquid. Just a little bit. That's it. Pour it in there, bud. That's it. Let's get a good bit in. And put the lid back on. And with a little bit more water, you can create super science bubble brains. And these are for brainy scientists, Miss Aurora and Mr. Keller. Awesome. Now, a bubble is just liquid with gas in it. If you poke a bubble, you end up getting wet. Mr. Keller, give this a little poke. I bet you get even wetter. Ah! Watch out at home. Awesome. Great job. So we are now going to make a giant bubble. This is something that you can try at home as well. So if you would like to make a giant bubble at home, you need a hula hoop. I have a fancy one with a handle. Any hula hoop will work. You also need a little pool. This one special, you can actually make this out of an adult pool float and some pool noodles. You just cut the middle and create a little pool. You want your hula hoop to fit nicely inside. Now to make the bubble mixture. So we fill up about half a pitcher of warm water. Then we're going to use some palm olive dish soap. This is the best brand of dish soap I have found actually to make this. It always gives me some really great bubbles. And I just turn it nice and green, to be honest. Now, this is the key ingredient. Without this, it won't work. This is called glycerin. You get this at the Walmart pharmacy. It costs about $3. 1, 2, 3 big squirts of glycerin. And then we stir it all together. Now, I was born in another country. I was born in England. You might be able to tell from my accent. And I always say that this bubble ring looks like a moat around a castle. You guys, you might know it better as a lazy river. We like the lazy rivers at the water parks, don't we? So this is like a moat or a lazy river. At home, the easiest way to do it is to get a hard plastic pool and just put something that the kids can stand on in the middle. Now, you add the liquid. You rub your hands around everything to make it soapy. And then we will lift up. So, once everything's nice and soapy, you just give the hula hoop a wiggle and lift up. The first thing I'm going to see if I can do is to get a ghost to come and see us. So, this is what I call the ghost on a trampoline. Can you see the ghost jumping?
Yeah.
It also could look like the ocean and waves by just giving it a wiggle. And sometimes you can even blow bubbles. Now, this is the most fun part. Mr. Kelly, you're going to go first, buddy. You can step inside a bubble. So, step inside, buddy, very carefully. you want to make it yourself as thin as possible. We are going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And as I lift up,
Bubble man.
he is in a bubble. We'll do one more.
Bubble man.
Perfect. Step out, Miss Aurora, your turn. That's it. So, very simply, you just make sure, again, everything's nice and soapy. You get the hula hoop nice and wet, and then we lift up. One more time. Perfect. Ooh, that was a good one. Step out, Miss Aurora, and you can finish by making it look like it's dancing by pulling it from side to side, and you can have a dancing bubble. So again, I would suggest trying that this summer. So much fun. Hula hoop, our special mixture, and a floaty. Okay, let's come over and have some more fun, guys. Now, I'm feeling very thirsty. I've been doing a lot of science, so I'm getting very thirsty. I think we should make some super science soda. Sound good? So, we have got our container. In here, we are going to add some water. So, we have some water, which we are going to pour in right here. And after that, we are going to use some dry ice. So very carefully, I will be putting my glove on. Never ever want to touch this ice, remember, 109 below zero. Now, earlier in the show, we said the dry ice is made of frozen gas. It's actually frozen carbon dioxide. That is the same gas that is in fizzy drinks. Miss Aurora, if you shake up a can of Coke and open it, what happens? Boom, right? So, that's because fizzy drinks have gas inside it. We're gonna add the dry ice in here. Now, a gas will love to fill up a space. It loves to explore and fill up an area. So you see the gas fills up the whole space of my container here, my little bowl, my cup. And it's exploring out of the top. Now this gas actually tastes like Diet Sprite. So open wide. You want to try some? Is that yummy? Oh, you be careful, buddy. Awesome. Now, if you want to do this at a party, you can use any flavored juice to do this. Hawaiian punch, you add the water, or you add the dry ice to that, and in about 20 minutes, the liquid will be fizzy. So you can make your very own soda by just adding dry ice to any juice, leaving it 20 minutes, making sure all the ice has disappeared, and you can have homemade soda. Again, very tasty. And my favorite part after the juice, could you step at the front, both of you guys? This is just a little bit of fun for the grown-ups. Again, I was born in England, and this is my version of an English experiment or an English invention. We add a little bit more ice, and then this time we're gonna add some of our super science liquid. This up. And this changes from a drink to now a portable fire extinguisher. Watch out! So this is a great way to cool everybody off in the summer. Now guys, I'm gonna run you through another couple of experiments that you can do at home. Let's first check on our balloon. That's getting nice and big, so we'll keep that there. You can hear there is still ice in it, so it's gonna keep getting bigger. Now, what we are going to do next, I'm gonna show you guys how to make a volcano. So, for a volcano, you will need a bowl or a plate to collect the lava. You will need an empty water bottle. So that's gonna be our mountain. To make lava for our volcano, we are going to use vinegar. We are going to need our baking soda in a minute, a funnel, some food coloring, and add disso. So we'll go step by step. Mr. Keller, can you hold the funnel in there for me? Miss Aurora, could you please help me put in the white vinegar?
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna pour this in. We're gonna add about a quarter of the bottle of white vinegar. So we pour this into our empty water bottle. This is gonna be the base. That's it. Whoa, we poured way too much in there. Okay. So we just want a little bit there at the bottom. We are going to add some food color. Mr. Keller, could you add the food color for me?
Yeah.
You're gonna squirt in a couple of things of food color. Perfect. We'll swirl that together. Miss Aurora, could you please add the disso?
Okay.
So a couple of squirts of disso. Perfect. And we're gonna swirl that around too. Now we are ready for our eruption. We are going to need some baking soda. So you take your baking soda. We are going to pour it into our bottle. It's going to fill up and erupt out. Are you ready, guys?
Yes.
Yes, here we go. So we drop it all in. We give it a shake. And the eruption comes. You can see that it fills up. Make sure you do have a cup or a bowl to collect the lava in afterwards. Otherwise, you'll get in big trouble from Mama. Okay, guys, we're going to finish off with our last experiment. We're going to go back to our dry ice. This is a great experiment for Halloween that is just around the corner. So, you can find a cauldron at most places during Halloween season. And again, our dry ice really comes into effect right here. Now, in our cauldron, we just have water, okay? By now, the water's cooled down and it's actually cold water. Hot water works best. So again, if you get really hot water, this is going to make a great effect for you. What we are going to do, we are going to break up the rest of our ice with a hammer. So we're going to break this into small pieces. And then we are going to drop our ice into the cauldron. Okay, so we drop in the ice very carefully. The ice will fill up the cauldron. It starts to smoke. This gas, if you remember, is heavier than the air we breathe. So instead of going up to the ceiling, it goes along the floor. Now, if you're feeling brave, you can do this. Oh! I'm just playing. When you're as old as Mr. Richie, though, you can do this. Okay, Mr. Keller, put your hand in slowly. Don't go all the way to the bottom. Good job. And it looks like your hand disappears. Miss Aurora, put your hand in. Fantastic. And we will finish off. We're going to make a science wish and we're going to blow as hard as we can after 3. So make your science wish. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you guys for joining our family and Super Science today. I hope you've got some ideas for science at home.
Goodbye.
Thank you for coming and goodbye and see you next time. Bye guys.